was very loud. It seemed very loud.
It was loud. All right, let's do this.
This is Fantasy Intervention. Now here to intervene with your fantasy life, Chase Vernon.
Oh yeah, what's going on, guys? Chase in here with you for another episode of Yet's Fantasy Intervention, coming at your face, hard and heavy. I've got with me Stephie Smalls. What's going on, Stephie? How you doing today?
What's up, party people? How's it going? How's everyone's week? How's your week, Chase?
It's been adventurous, to say the least. I've ventured into the kitchen more so than normal. I mean, I cook 3 times a day, but we talk about venturing and trying to create stuff that you have left over from Thanksgiving. It's been delicious, but it's been very fattening, as you have seen from some of my pictures. Oh, how was Thanksgiving treating you?
It was very good. I just finished leftovers, unfortunately. So we're at the bottom of the barrel here. There's nothing else left.
I'm trying to finish them, but I'm going to end up on IR here by the end of the week. I promise.
Yeah, literally. Probably. I deserve to be on one. Between finals and Thanksgiving, I deserve to be on. Yeah,
it's absolutely insane. But Stephie, real quick, go ahead and let everybody know where to find you, what's going on with you, all the different stuff that you're putting together right now.
Yeah, I'm doing a ton of stuff. So you guys can find me at Stephie Smalls with 3 L's. I do a Giants-focused injury report every week with New York Giants Brush. I also I have my own channel with Sleeper Wire. I interview beat writers from all over the league, which has been really fun and interesting. I do that. You can find that on Spotify. The Twitter for that is at onbeat19. And that's it. And then I also have, obviously, Fantasy Intervention.
Of course, who could forget about Fantasy Intervention?
Never.
Oh, man. No, Fantasy Intervention's been a blast, man. We're taking off. Things are happening over there, and I could not be more excited, to be a part of this team and to be a part of everything that's building. But we do have stuff that we have to do tonight. We got stuff we got to get to. Yeah. So what are we expecting tonight? What are you going to talk about?
Just like the rest of the entire season. It's 2020 and the injuries just keep flowing in. I think to start, it would only make sense to talk about someone that I hold near and dear to my heart, which is Mr. Daniel Jones.
It's so sad.
It's so sad because you have the Giants, they're playing good, meaningful football finally. It's been years. And then you see Daniel Jones go down, which is awful. The media kind of played it into being this injury that was going to keep him out very long. When I watched the injury go down, to me, it was like the mechanism of that is not looking 3 weeks to me. I don't know where everyone's getting that from. I got a lot of heat for it, but he had an MRI and it was better than everyone expected. So I'm thinking he's got a grade 1 hamstring injury. That's going to put him out definitely. I definitely, if the Giants are smart, they'll sit him this week. I mean, they're playing the Seahawks. It's not an easy matchup. I think giving him the time to rest would be awesome. I just don't see him missing 2 weeks. I also don't think that a ton of people are playing Daniel Jones in general, so I'm sure this doesn't affect anyone. But I mean, the Seahawks are going to be a rough matchup. This isn't going to be easy to put in Gallman, Ingram, any of those players. I think this is going to be a little bit difficult without Mr. Dimes.
Yeah, Danny Dimes has done a lot to open up that offense, especially with the RPO. That's been a huge, huge help. So without him, being there with the hamstring injuries and everything that he's been dealing with, as a whole throughout this injury, we don't know the actual depth of it, but we're assuming you said what, anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks?
I think that, so he definitely is like grade 1. So I was looking more into it with how they use the MRI, because it's not really a standard procedure unless you're a professional athlete or in a collegiate level. It's not really, they first started doing that in Australia. Shout out to Brad. But so it's really like the average for a grade 1, according to the MRIs, is like 1.1 games. Grade 2 is 1.7. So if he's anywhere between that middle ground, it might be 2 games. But I mean, we saw him go back in the game. He's walking up and down the field. I don't know that it's as severe as the media is trying to allude to. I think he will probably be out this week, though, and it breaks my heart. But it's gonna be okay. We're gonna be fine. We'll figure it out.
No, I mean, so the thing is, like, the way that I was assuming that the Giants would kind of, I guess, deal with this injury was by running the ball more often. But they got a tough matchup this upcoming week up against the Seattle Seahawks, where the Seattle Seahawks, they don't allow teams to run on them. Like, you might think that it's because they pass all the time, which is also a factor. But they've only allowed like one team so far this season from just, off the top of my head. They've only allowed one team so far this season to have over 4 yards per carry against them. So, like, Colt McCoy for me, I'm not that big on Colt McCoy, but this is interesting. Like, he could be a streaming option. He could finish out as a, top 16, maybe even top 12 quarterback this week.
I know. And it's weird because it seems like they're working. They brought someone else up. I forget his name. I hadn't remembered it. What was it? And then they also had, what's his name? Tenny, whatever that quarterback's name. Oh my God, who was it? But it looks like they're looking at them, but I don't really know if they're doing that because they're worried. I think you just go with McCoy and you just move forward. I understand that the teams established themselves, they're a running team. That's like the Giants have made that clear that they're not really establishing much in the past. So I think that it'll be a very interesting matchup. We'll see what McCoy can get done. I mean, he also didn't have a practice, so without Jones, how do they coach him? So we'll see how it goes. I think you could cross Jones off for this week. I think it's definitely going to be a no Jones week. But he's also very tough. That kid which worries me because the hamstring is something that can be re-injured so easily. Mountain Man Spear. I think it's a very nice. Although No Shave November is over, to be clear.
Yeah, but I normally let my beard get really long right around now, and then I grow a sick ass mustache. Perfect for Christmas, essentially.
That's so fun. That rocks.
All right, so let's go ahead and let's move on from this game, right? Because we don't, this is going to be a game where the Giants are playing better defense overall, but we don't really, think the Giants have a significant shot at beating the Seahawks. Although if Colt McCoy can do well, it's worth a play. But let's go ahead and hop onto the next injury, right?
Yeah.
We have DJ for Daniel Jones, but we have another DJ over there. Go ahead and talk about him.
Yeah. So DJ Moore also, it was weird. So he had a non-contact injury. It was kind of hard to tell. Was it the leg? Was it the ankle? I read a couple things. It seems like it is the ankle. So it seems, all his tests today came back negative. So it seems like it's a little bit more severe. It seems like they're a little concerned, and this might be a multi-week injury. So I think it's a multi-week. It must be some type of sprain. We're looking at like a lower ankle sprain probably, because they would have found a fracture on the x-ray. So you're looking at, 2, 4 weeks maybe. But this is something that we're going to have to watch the practice status to really understand. I would count him out for week 13. I think that week 14, he'll be back and ready to go. But as of now, I don't know that I would go with him. So if you do have him, some other options to get they'll probably get a little bit of a boost is Anderson and Samuel. I don't know how you feel about those two.
That's the reality of the situation when it comes to, Anderson and Samuel. Like, they're the only two credible replacements on this team if he does end up missing some weeks, which is very, very possible, Bentley, don't you think? So my dog is going crazy in the background with the squeaky toys.
I'm shocked that mine is not doing anything.
Week 13 we have a bye. So week 14 is, the week that we're looking at up against Denver. And then they've got Green Bay, and then they have Washington. So they have a really tough schedule moving forward. Volume is going to be the only thing that saves these receivers is if DJ Moore is out. If DJ Moore's in, like that's some tough road to get a grade, moving forward. So I'm not a huge fan of either Robbie Anderson nor Curtis Samuel if DJ Moore does play. And if DJ Moore does play, I'm not really a fan of him either. So that's going to be tough. It's going to be a tall task. Well, let's go ahead and move on to your next person over there.
Yeah. Okay. So the next one is Philip Lindsay, which is, I mean, shocking that someone got hurt during that game. But so what I'm seeing online is that he hyper flexed with a little bit of rotation. I'm not really sure what they're trying to say about that. To me, it seems like it's be an MCL or a meniscus strain. We'll see. Something like that is going to be 1 to 3 weeks. So it seems like it's more minor than major, but that's going to be something that needs to be monitored with practice status. So I think the person to go with in that case would be Melvin Gordon. I don't know how available he is in league, so maybe Freeman is more available. I don't know. Have you looked into those two?
Well, yeah, Melvin Gordon's pretty much owned in every league for the most part.
Yeah.
But it's, these quarterbacks should be healthy, so it should open up the offense again. But Freeman didn't, he got a couple opportunities, but this offensive coaching staff does not like Royce Freeman, and neither did the previous one. So, for me, I'm not really looking into Freeman as much, but I mean, Melvin Gordon's pretty much already owned. The question is do you play him? And in the matchups where Lindsay's been missing, Melvin Gordon has actually, dominated the snaps and the targets. So I do like Melvin Gordon moving forward with Lindsay missing some time. But Dalvin Cook is another running back out there where, he got hurt during the game and we don't know what's going to happen with him, but he seems okay, right? So what's going on with Dalvin Cook?
So Dalvin Cook is another sprained ankle situation. I mean, I haven't seen anything yet that they're determining that it's a high ankle sprain. The thing with high ankle sprains is usually you won't see that player come back into the game. So, but then again, you look at Devontae Freeman, who also was someone that came back into the game. So I'm losing that. I don't know how much I can bet on that. So he came back. He tweaked it during the third quarter, returned back. So I don't think that we're going to see him miss time. They're also playing Jacks. So I think that they could. I'm going to say that he's going to be safe this week. I think that he just kind of tweaked it. Not like his ball sack the other week. It's not as serious, but I think that we can be okay with him coming back.
He didn't tweak his ball sack?
He did not tweak his ball sack. It was only ankle this time.
Yeah, it's still interesting because
these practice statuses are everything.
Yeah, and up against Jacksonville's like somebody that they don't need to play Dalvin Cook. They could play Alexander Madison and probably scoop by with a win, but they are on, the playoffs are on the line and they don't want to risk anything. So I'm thinking that Dalvin Cook should be on a snap count, which makes me nervous. Like you said, the practice reports are everything, and whether or not I want to play Dalvin Cook. Don't forget last year he had a hurt shoulder, and everybody thought he was going to end up playing or whatever the case was. He ended up being on a snap count and didn't do anything. I could see the same exact thing happening with Alexander Madison as long as the Vikings are up.
You have to be careful with players like Dalvin Cook because they can also just as easily be a decoy, right? So you could see it with someone, for example, not to go back to the New York Giants, but I will, is someone like Slayton. I think Slayton's been injured for a couple of weeks, but we're seeing him still. He's not on the injury report. He's still on the field, but he's not doing anything. So you have to be careful with players that have a name like Dalvin Cook because they could just as easily sneak by and be active, but they're not really active or getting you freaking shit during the game. So
freaking shit. Great analysis. All right, we did get a question out here.
Okay.
We're gonna sneak in. We're gonna sneak in with a guy, right? We're gonna talk about Todd Gurley, right? Oops, I'm on the wrong one. Todd Gurley.
Okay.
So Todd Gurley, what's going on with him? And then we'll talk about Brian Hill and the situation over there.
He's like Todd Gurley is one of those. He's becoming an exhausting player to me. He's slowly becoming one of those Julio Jones, just tiring freaking players to me. But it's fine. So he has a knee injury. There's really not much out about him yet. He did not practice week 12. It seems significant because he didn't practice, obviously. So I think that he won't. I have a feeling that he is more hurt than they are leading on. So I think that is something to keep an eye on if you have been trusting Mr. Gurley, because I don't know that he is going to perform for you this week by any freaking means. But this is Atlanta, it's
clusterfuck. Now, we thought that Brian Hill was actually going to be the guy to go to, but Brian Hill couldn't generate any yards. And then we have Ito Smith over there who got in. Honestly, it's going to be week to week. We saw the same exact thing happen last year. Brian Hill was supposed to come in and take it over.
Okay, sorry. My
So, anyways, with Brian Hill, like the same thing happened last year. He's supposed to come in and perform right off the bat. He ended up sucking terribly, and then the next week he went off. It could be the same exact thing. Brian Hill's somebody. If Gurley's not playing, I still like Brian Hill. I'm still playing him in the flex position.
I do too, for sure.
But I'm not going to be playing him over a guy like Dalvin Cook, for example. Like, there's no way.
No, definitely not. So I think you trust more, like looking at these scenarios, Dalvin Cook is someone that you trust more than someone like Hill, even though he has had a little bit of a tweaking or whatever you want to call it.
A tweaking? Is that what you called it?
A tweaking? Yeah. Not like just a tweaking. That's what we'll call it. A tweaking.
Do you have any information on Galladay? Because we do have a question about Galladay, but we did not prep for him.
We didn't, but I was reading about him before, and I think that he might not come back again. Why do I want to see that? Let's see. I have something. If we go on to the next thing, I could probably get back to it because I wrote down.
All right, that works.
Before.
That works. I can distract for a second.
Okay, cool.
So, you brought up in this injury report that I'm checking over, Christian McCaffrey, right? And the Panthers looking at week 14 following a bye, another Panthers player that's been injured, that's been having a situation. So the AC joint sprain, right? That can take up to 3 weeks to heal depending on severity. But it's something as where, like, if they're not winning, do they even bring Christian McCaffrey back, or they take the time with them? Do they have him on a limited snap count when he does come back so they can load it, load his production forward towards 2021?
Right. So this is going to be something that we're going to start seeing, and this is where injury reports are getting a little hairy. Is that the right word? I feel like my mom would say that. I'm turning into my mom. But towards the end of the season, is it really starting to get worth it, right? As we're approaching 14. Sorry, Mom, I didn't mean to offend you if you're watching this.
No, it's a progressive commercial.
Oh yeah, right, exactly. You watch the commercial, Mom. But yeah, so this is what we're going to see towards the end. And the AC joint is something that could take 6 weeks. So we have to, I don't know why, but I really don't think he's coming back. I think it wouldn't be worth it for them. I think that he's obviously more hurt than they're saying. He was supposed to come back after 3 weeks, and it was 4 weeks. It's starting to get a little excessive, which is what they were doing with players all over the league, and you're seeing them not come back at all. Then they come back to practice, and all of a sudden they need surgery. So I think that that's someone to monitor. I wouldn't get super excited about him. I don't think that when he comes back, it's going to be this, he's going to be scoring you 1 million points every week. But I think that it's something to monitor. He still has time to come off that, to be activated, but it's not looking very good. The shoulder, you just saw it with O'Shane Zimina. I know I always talk about the Giants. I apologize to everyone, but this is who I relate to. And he came back. He got hurt during the Cowboys game several weeks ago. He came back for one practice, and now he needs surgery. So the shoulder is something I don't trust. It's something, you saw it affect Murray this past week as much as everyone thought it wasn't going to. It did affect him. It's a hard injury to recover from. It can be anywhere from 1 to 6 weeks. It just kind of depends how the player takes his rehab. Is he taking it seriously? I know it's hard with COVID going on too.
So that pretty much answered the question over there for Murray as well. Like, it just depends on the individual player. So did you find out anything about Galladay?
I'm pulling it up.
I was trying to buy you time.
I know, because I got distracted. Then I'm talking about shoulders. It's just that AC joint. It really gets me going. It's all that AC joint.
Gets you going. God,
okay,
ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get her going, talk about the AC joint,
please, yeah,
or White Claws.
You're right, yeah, or one or the other. Okay, so this is what we have. What did I write down by him? So do they have a bye week? No, right? Who did they play?
No, they lost. They played on Thanksgiving.
That's right. This is going to be one that, okay, I remember now. Why am I playing dumb? It must be the White Claws. He's going to be one that you're going to want to, I know I keep saying this, but it's so important, especially since I've focused on injury reports. The practice statuses really tell you a lot. So I think that if Galladay, you don't see a DNP, which is do not practice, I think that you could expect him to return. the second you start seeing no practice, like do not practice, maybe limited, but then at the end of the week, if he's do not practice, I wouldn't expect him to be in the game. So he's going to be someone that you have to look at day by day. And he's going to be
Lions want to feel comfortable with him too, because they're most likely going to re-sign him to some sort of contract, whether that be big or not, is going to be really up in the air. But all right, what about Mostert? Is he going to take over that backfield completely? Because he came back from the injury. Is he 100% healthy? Is he ready to rock and roll?
It seems like he's ready to rock and roll. I don't know that he's someone that do you trust him? How do you feel about him? I don't know how I feel about him.
Well, we're not even talking about, fantasy wise, like, if he's healthy, just like ready to go.
I think he is. I think he's healthy and ready
to go. He's got that high ankle sprain, so.
Yeah, it seems like I honestly didn't see anything bad about him when I was looking at everything today. But I don't know how, I think he should be fully recovered by now. He was out. But the problem is with high ankle sprains, and that's just like the hamstring, it's just like the AC, all these injuries, is he could very easily re-injure that. Because in the high ankle sprains, you don't know until you're putting full running pressure onto it, because it acts as like a shock absorber, and that's basically, that's where you get the pain from, is when you have injury on everything that's going on there. So he starts running and tweaks it, then you might see him come out. So,
all right, well, let's talk about some of these high ankle sprains. Let's start out with Zach Ertz. Because Zach Ertz, we don't know what the hell is going on. Like, high ankle sprains supposed to take 8 weeks, yet he's already missed 6 weeks. We're just trying to figure out what's going on, trying to sort through this madness.
So interesting, kind of like Christian McCaffrey, in the sense where when you start seeing players go over their recovery time, like an expected recovery time, especially a maximum expected recovery time, that's when I start getting nervous. So I don't know that I would be I don't think I'd be excited for him to come back. I don't know that that's necessarily going to happen. I know Green Bay also is someone that allows the fewest yards and receiving touchdowns to tight ends. So even if he does come back, I don't know that he is going to definitely add a ton of value. But he's someone to keep an eye on, also the practice status. But I'm telling you, whenever you see these guys going over the expected recovery time, that's when you have to get nervous. Because if they're expected to do something and it's already going at the maximum, something's going on there. They're missing something. You see it all the time. They try to come back and all of a sudden they find a fracture, or all of a sudden they found this. So that's something that really he's someone that needs to be kept an eye on. Keep an eye on him, whatever the phrase is. One of those.
Keep an eye on. That works.
Whatever works.
All right. So, with that being said, Green Bay is not the team that you want to play him against. But on to another high ankle sprain, right? We have Josh Jacobs, right? Who's sustained one, what was it, like later in the fourth or so? So Josh Jacobs, what are we looking at over there? Devontae Booker, barf, like, that's gross.
I know. Yeah.
What are we looking
literally vomit in my mouth. But so here's the thing with him is I went back after doing a bunch of reading and trying to do my notes for tonight, because everyone's saying it looks so bad. It looks so bad. I didn't get a chance to watch. This is one of the games I didn't get a chance to watch. It did look pretty freaking bad. I'm not going to lie. I get why people are saying that. But all his tests did come back negative. It's supposed to be just a mild ankle sprain. So he should come back. I think, again, this is another one, and I know everyone's gonna be like, yeah, you just said that. But I think it's something you need to watch his practice status. I guess go with Devontae Booker, but might as well just pick someone else up. Like, I'd rather play Gallman than him. I'm dead serious. Like, I don't think I'm playing Devontae Booker, but that's just me. I mean, they say mild sprain, but ankle, but you see this again. They say, oh, it's not a big deal. And then they're out for a couple weeks. So his testing was negative. So
pretty much like day to day, pretty much at that point means like, hey, they're going to miss this week, up unless you're seeing them practice throughout the entire thing.
Right.
Meanwhile, when we sit there, we cover like week to week. That typically means at least 3 weeks, maybe even closer to a month, depending on, the playoffs and this time. So, yeah, that's something that it's hard to trust. All right, so let's go. I think we have one more high ankle sprain on this list, and that was, which one am I missing? I'm missing one. I'm trying to skip around on the show sheet to try and collectively get everybody.
This is, guys, I'm going to get more organized. It's my fault that we're jumping around. Let's see. I don't think, is there anyone else? I don't think so. I think we got
maybe
everyone.
I missed somebody. Okay, cool.
No, I think
All
we
right,
got
so
everyone.
we covered Zach Ertz, covered Chris McCaffrey. Julio Jones was somebody we did not cover, and I know people had questions about Julio Jones. You know, like he had limited practices all week. I expected him to play, but I didn't expect him to be a major asset in this offense. I thought he was going to be a decoy, like you brought up earlier, you know, with Darius Slayton. So that's what I expected this week. It could be the same sort of thing.
Right.
But once again, I'm not trusting Julio Jones. I expect him to be a decoy. How do you feel about it?
So Julio Jones is very much becoming a pain in my ass, I think. I think that I don't trust him anymore. I feel like anytime he gets injured is very wishy-washy. And him with a hamstring injury, I'm not a big fan of. So this is going to be something where if on Wednesday he has a limited practice status, great. You'll see him in the game. Will he do a lot for you? I don't really know. But I mean, personally, I would never even draft him, but that's your guys' own problem. So I think that, I mean, I guess it's going to be Gage and Ridley then, but that's kind of sucks too. So I think if by Friday you see him at least limited practice or full practice, he'll probably play. But Julio is historically a player where you'll see him practice during the week, and then game time decision, they take him out. So if you need to pick up someone else or you need to come up with some kind of plan, now is the time because there's a chance he doesn't play.
Yeah, I mean, the reality of the situation is with Julio Jones is why show your hand when you don't have to, you know? Why make somebody prepare or not prepare for an individual when you could not play them? And Julio Jones, like they don't want him to seriously injure himself. Now his contract is coming to an end, so eventually they're going to get the mileage out of him and they're going to run him to death. But this is not going to be the week. I think that if he does play, which I doubt that he will, they will, end up moving on from Julio Jones being an option in the offense. Now, Tua.
Tua. So this is an interesting one. So he has his thumb injury, wasn't supposed to be a big deal, but started experiencing a lot of swelling just out of the blue, apparently. But the thing with swelling that concerns me is that it's probably a fracture. So this is something that gets seen all the time is it's easy to miss a fracture on the first x-ray. I worked in the ER for a really long time. Always happens. They come back 5 days later and all of a sudden there's the fracture. So he's someone that a full recovery of his thumb would be like 4 to 5 weeks. This is the NFL. Usually they do 3 weeks, 2 weeks. 2 weeks is just not going to happen. But 3 weeks would be the earliest he would come back if that is fractured. So what you're looking at is fits. This is a very unfortunate time for Tua to get hurt, I think, especially with him starting to really pick up his career a little bit.
You got fans on Facebook too. We can't see your name, by the way, but you got fans on Facebook on Fantasy Football Discussion. Go on, girl. Making your way over to Facebook. God, that's where all the trolls come from. I love you guys. I absolutely adore all the trolls out there.
For impressing in front of my boss. It's very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge shout out to Fantasy Football Discussion in that group. Love you guys. All right, so with Tua, right? Like, there's a good chance that he is out again. Fitzmagic up against the Bengals is a great streaming option. I mean, we went over it earlier today on the waiver wire pickup show. It was absolutely insane. Like, we're sitting there, I'm talking with James, I'm talking with Nate, and we're going through the points scored per game, and the fact that his floor is like 20 points, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, Fitzmagic up against the Bengals is a smash play in a game where they should see a good amount of short field position. Now, it does worry me a little bit because they might not run as much, but if Gaskin and Ahmed end up missing time, Fitzmagic is going to have the helm inside the red zone and could throw for 3 or 4 touchdowns and maybe like 200 yards, but still that 3 touchdowns is going to be worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's someone, especially if you're someone that has Jones out, say, or two, like one of those players that are out. I think Fitz is a very viable option for this week, in my opinion. I think he's definitely someone that you can put in.
All right, so let's go ahead and let's talk about my favorite player in the entire world. Let's talk about DeAndre Swift. What you got on DeAndre Swift?
I mean, DeAndre Swift should be playing. He's gonna. as long as he's not, I don't know what the issue is, but as long as he passes concussion protocol, I don't know. The whole thing's weird. He got a concussion during practice. I don't know why he wouldn't come back. Usually we see that he's had plenty of enough time to recover. So all he needs to do is pass concussion protocol. And I am pretty certain he will be back on the field. So you guys will be very happy to hear Swift will be back.
Yes,
and
bitch,
that's signed, sealed, delivered.
Love it. I absolutely love it. Swift is an absolute monster. He's an animal. I love DeAndre Swift. This guy's going to crush in the league. And guess what? Now we have Darrell Bevel at the helm, right? Darrell Bevel is going to open up this entire offense. He's like, hey, I just want to go out there and have fun. I want my offense to have fun. That's what Matthew Stafford's about. That's what Darrell Bevel's about. That's what the Seahawks were about when he coached there, prior to moving on. So Darrell Bevel is the perfect addition to this offense to be the head coach right now for a team that just needs to relax. I mean, when you have Patricia breathing down your back, like, dude, imagine Mike Fiala over there for Join Our Circle just breathing on your neck for like years. Like, never leaving. That's just creepy. Like, Mike, I love you, man, but I don't want you breathing on my neck for
Please
years.
Don't breathe on our necks.
He's going to hate me. He's going to tear me up in tomorrow's episode.
He's already mad. Okay.
8 o'clock, Wednesday night. Make sure you guys don't miss it. Mike's going to tear me up tomorrow, so I got to have my fun. No. I don't want Mike breathing down my neck at any point. That does not arouse me at all. So that's like Matt Patricia breathing down your neck. And so they just need to go out. They need to have fun. They need to have just a fun overall time. So with that being said, right, like we have DeAndre Swift, which Bevel will open up the offense for. We have Matt Stafford, who likes to check down the running back. DeAndre Swift is going to be a top 5 running back to finish out the year, especially with the schedule. Now, let's go on to a player that is probably only owned by his mother when it comes to fantasy football, and that's Olamide Zaccheaus, right?
Yeah,
because he's not hurting anybody, but I bet you his mom has him on her fantasy team.
I'm sure she does, and that's very sweet, and I adore that. I think that's so nice, but he has a toe injury. It's probably another turf toe, whatever the freak they call it. But listen, he probably won't play. I just don't see that. It's not going to happen. Especially they have other options. I think they're going to give him time to rest. Sorry, Mom.
Yes. Not your mom, her mom. His mom.
Her.
What? Huh? All right. So DJ Chark.
Never mind.
I guess we do have one more because guess what, guys? It's Colin Johnson season.
Okay.
Tell me about Chark. Tell me about what's going on over there.
I'm so sorry. I'm sure Dr. Juice is probably crying right now. It's very sad. I know, Adam, you're gonna be okay though. Okay, I know you're not watching because you don't watch my injury reports, but listen, it's gonna be fine. So he has a rib injury. It's as of now not classified as a fracture, as far as I've seen. His all of his testing was negative. He was someone that was playing during practice last week, and then on Friday they were like, yeah, no, he's actually not going to play. So that makes me a little skeptical of what's going to happen this week. It's also something where, you saw with Breeze, they said that there was some old injury. You never know with the ribs. It's a little bit it's very unsure. So I think that with him, it's another one, not to be a broken record, but that you have to monitor his practice status. I think if Wednesday you're seeing limited practice, Thursday, if you're seeing Friday, he's limited practice, I think there's a good chance you probably will see him. If he's absent, then I guess the options are Cole and what's his name? Johnson, right? Yes, Cole and Johnson.
Yeah, Colin Johnson. He's the next superstar in the NFL. What are you talking about?
I know.
He's an animal.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to forget his name. It's the claws. But Cole and Johnson. I'm just making sure I have the right in my head.
Wait, how do you say his first name?
No, I said Cole and Johnson because it's Keegan
you
Cole,
said
right?
Cole and Johnson.
No. It did sound like one name.
This is a mess. All right, so I didn't see anything about this. It said, didn't he go on IR?
Oh, did he?
And then, no, I just looked it up. I just looked it up on RotoWire. They don't have anything on it. If that happened, it's recent. We've been doing research all freaking day, guys. So keep that in mind. Like if something pops up randomly, it is very possible that something just happened. Especially since we've been going out for almost an hour, but or 34 minutes technically. But yeah, no. So
That's
just
what she
keep in
said.
mind, like, this is something that we've been researching and doing a ton of work on the
We
entire
do.
day. So it kind of slips through the cracks from time to time.
I try to right before to refresh so that I can make sure if there's any last minute things. So if we're sitting here, and something comes up, I'm not going to get it. But I try to be very good about what we're putting out there.
Oh, he's talking about Zacchaeus. Yeah, he's done. Sorry. Okay,
He's on IR,
that makes sense.
huh? I did miss that. Oh yeah, placed on IR. It is on my notes. Fine.
But either way,
I
only
did
his mom
say he
owns
wasn't
him
gonna
anyways.
play though, and his mom is she's the only one that's got him in, and she's not.
And the
taking
Laquan
that.
Treadwell is back on the team. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
All right, so just to give you guys a heads up, we covered Gallman extensively. We covered Daniel Jones extensively on the beginning of the podcast. Like I'm talking about probably close to 10 minutes. We're not going to go back and cover a lot of these guys. So if y'all have somebody that might be a little bit under the radar, I don't mind answering those questions. But when it comes to like Daniel Jones stuff, this is Stephie Smalls over here, guys. Like this is the Giants fanatic. Of course, that's going to be the first thing we cover on each and every rehab report. Okay, so is Bridgewater okay? He did not look okay.
He didn't look okay.
He did not.
I didn't look good. That's for sure. I don't know if he's okay. I mean, I didn't see any updates about him, but when I was looking, I think that he's someone that still tries to play through stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see the backup come in. This is like classic him. The last couple.
Yeah, it's something that's where we don't even know what Teddy Bridgewater. Like he's been pushing. He'll push himself to start. This is his only opportunity. If he ends up shitting on this opportunity, we're seeing like a Matt Flynn-esque situation where, although they did pay him money for multiple years, they'd much rather draft a younger guy that is healthier. So he will play for, in every opportunity he gets. Now, let's go into this COVID list real quick because guess what? I did not have your injury report last week. So guess what happened? I want you to guess.
You didn't update people on COVID.
I didn't know what was happening with COVID because I rely on you for all my freaking information, Stephie.
I know, guys.
I know. It wasn't your fault.
It wasn't your fault.
But no, the Colts were completely decimated on defense, and I did not see that. That completely slipped through the cracks. I mean, I'm doing 10 episodes a week. I'm doing my possibly best that I can to keep up with everything. But one or two things might slip through the cracks. I let the Colts defense slip through the cracks.
I mean, it's even something like it's hard to keep up with. I have a dry eraser board, and every time I hear something, I put it down because sometimes even if you're looking at any of these sites, they just get tossed to the bottom. So it's very, very hard. Okay, that's very nice. Jesus.
This is the guy I'm supposed to get my chest wax with, okay? And now he's out here calling me out. Yeah, we're getting our chest wax for charity. By the way, Dingus, if you want to drop that link, I'll put in the comments. Yeah, so make sure you guys go check out @Dingus4 on Twitter. We're gonna get our chest wax for charity. I'm not kidding you. This is not good. This is not gonna be good.
For what charity? Or
No Kids Hungry.
That rocks. Very cool.
Yeah, Dingus, drop the link or at least drop your Twitter handle or something so that way everybody can go there and donate to your stuff. Also, send it to me so I can post it over there on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're getting our chest wax for charity. But anyways, let's go over this COVID report. Let's go. You're in.
So there's one thing that's making me laugh because I'm just looking at my show notes. I didn't get to the bottom. And the only thing that's highlighted, or at least I can see the different color, is he has 13 girlfriends.
You put 13 GF tested positive.
I didn't mean that. So Jonathan Taylor's girlfriend, he does not, I don't know, he may have 13 girlfriends, he may not, but his girlfriend tested positive. So that's what placed him on, it's an uncertain status, so we'll see what happens. I don't know. But I don't think he has 13 girlfriends. That'd be
okay,
weird.
you just put 13 GF, so I thought he had 13 girlfriends for a second.
Right.
All right.
Week 13.
So where were we on this thing?
Okay,
where were we on this?
We can start at the top. Hit it from the top.
Hit it from the top.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, hit it from the top. So Adam Thielen I think he'll come back as long as his time frame. I don't know when he tested positive. Did he even have a yes, this is the one. So he had a positive test and then a negative test. So they weren't sure if he was actually positive or not. I think that this is why it's so weird because they're even putting that out in the public, but whatever. So I think he'll be back this week. I mean, if not, Justin Jefferson's a great option, but I can predict that Thielen, when he did test positive, he's had enough days. He just needs to come up with like 5 days in a row of negative tests, and his last one was negative. So I would expect him to be back. He might be someone, especially if Dalvin's out, he might be someone that is getting more attention, more loving by Cousins.
So real quick, guys, this is the link below. Dingus and I, you see that excellent mustache up on the screen. We're actually going to donate any income towards this, towards charity. So we're going to get our chest waxed, right? And we're going to, donate the money towards charity. Guys, go check it out. It's paypal.me/pools/C/8UC. I'm not even going to read all that. Anyways, guys, go check it out. I'll make sure that I post it up there, of course. I'll post it on Facebook as well. But no, the biggest thing too is the fact that, like, you know, we're actually, if we do hit $2,000, then he's going to wax his mustache as well. So
okay, is it on video though?
Oh yeah, we're gonna do it live. So it's gonna be all live.
Hell yeah! So everyone go donate. It's gonna be hilarious.
And the highest donator will get to put something. I probably will, but I'm gonna actually wax something into my chest for the highest donator if they want me to do that. If not, then I'll just get the whole thing waxed. But yeah, I'm very, very excited for this. Oh, he's gonna shave the stash. He ain't waxing it. I said that the other night too.
It would be painful.
We actually, if you guys want to donate straight to No Kids Hungry, like as well, like go to @No Kids Hungry on Twitter or wherever. It's No Kids Hungry is the site. If you guys go donate to them, you take a screenshot of whatever you donated. We will add that to the pool, so that goes towards the $2,000 pool. So yeah, if you guys want, no, we're not waxing our eyebrows. Are you crazy?
Wax them completely off.
No, but make sure you guys go check that out. Go donate. Like I said, you can also take a screenshot if you guys don't trust us, because that mustache looks very, sketch at best. I understand. So go to No Kids Hungry and donate directly. Take a screenshot, send to one of us, and you guys are in there. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's jump on to the next person, of course. Who do you have over there? Dobbins. And let's go over Dobbins and Ingram and all them.
Yeah. So as long as they test negative, they'll play tomorrow, which is so bizarre. Wednesday. Now I have to get drunk on a Wednesday. The NFL
at 3:40.
Yeah, the NFL needs to calm down because
you gotta get day drunk.
Stock up. Yeah, that's an issue. What time is it? Afternoon drunk?
Wait, Steph, when's your last day of school? Tomorrow?
Yes. So guess what's happening is I'm gonna have myself a day. I'm gonna watch the Ravens game and it's gonna be a blast. I will probably watch it with Dobbins and Ingram unless one of them has a positive test.
I was actually going to say you should just skip school tomorrow and then drive down, and we can have brunch and we can get day drunk, and then we can watch the game together for your last day of school. Even though you're not going to go, you're going to play hooky.
That'd be so. Oh no, I'm not going to go. I teach myself everything anyways. Don't tell my dad.
Okay, then drive down. After this ends, just drive straight in.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we have Dobbins and Ingram, right? They're out, or they're in, unless they test a negative test. But we have Brandon Ayuk, right?
Yeah. So he was activated, so he should come back. I don't know that he's someone that you rush back in. I think that Samuel is a better option. As long as he's another one. I think he just has to. I think if he came off reserve, though, what is it? I think he needs another negative test, possibly. That's why it's iffy. They keep changing the protocol too. So you never know if they're just gonna pull him, because then all of a sudden he tests positive. You're seeing a lot of false positives, false negatives in the league right now. So I don't know that I trust him completely. He's someone that did test positive, so he did have COVID. So you have to count in that recovery time. So I think a safer option is Samuel, unless you disagree with me.
Well, Deebo Samuel's a smash anyways. He's my top end option over there. I
kind of have a crush on him, but it's not a big deal. Don't tell Daniel.
I'm telling Daniel Jones. You know I'm telling that.
Daniel,
all right,
fine.
So
your hamstring's fine.
Let's talk about the quarterback, just shit show over there for Denver.
Mess. Did you see how Locke's mom defended him on social media?
I missed it. Did you snort? That's the first time I've heard you snort on a live show. That's amazing. She thought this was so funny, everybody, that she snorted on the live show. This is amazing.
Can you imagine being a professional NFL player and your mom writing a post about why you had COVID and that you asked for a separate room? Miss Locke literally wrote 2 paragraphs about it. It's bizarre. But anyways, this is in entertainment, like TV. But yeah, so his mom literally like wrote 2 paragraphs
That's
about it.
amazing.
Yeah, she's actually really hot too. She's like totally a MILF. This lady's really
No
good
way.
looking. Yeah.
Well, that makes
she is.
sense because she hooked up for with somebody for reason to produce Drew Lock, and there's obviously something that Drew Lock has that not many other quarterbacks have, if you know what I'm saying. So the dad must have had something,
Right.
hiding somewhere, in order to entice her to get pregnant.
His
Drew Lock
dad
has a horse cock. Let's go.
His dad and Daniel Jones's dad are apparently like cousins, a couple times removed, but that's just what I heard. But yeah, so all he has to do, being serious now, is test negative 5 consecutive days. Him and the backup, wasn't it Ripon? Is that how you say it? That's a horrible last name. Ripon?
Yeah.
Horrible last name.
I know because
I'm so sorry.
His uncle used to be a quarterback. Uncle used to be his quarterback for the Washington football team, or Washington Redskins at the time.
Yeah. What a crappy last name. Anyway, so they should be back. They were never positive. They were one of the close contact peeps, as Miss Locke let us know. So I think you can expect both of them to be okay. If Locke were not okay, I'm sure whatever his dumb last name is will be fine.
Get out of here.
One of them will be back.
She's all a mess after she heard Drew Lock has a worse cock. All right,
Yeah,
Larry
well,
Fitzgerald.
Prepared. I don't think he's gonna play.
That's what his mom said.
Horse cock was not in the show notes, so now I'm overwhelmed.
I didn't even go with the suckle at that juice yet, so I'm screwed. All right,
so
Larry Fitzgerald.
It will not be back. And anyone can tell you whatever they want, but I'm telling you, he will not be back. He tested positive on the 26th. It's quite literally impossible for him to pass protocol. So he will not be back. I don't know that it's going to really kill anyone. So everyone will be fine. And also he's old. So if he doesn't recover as fast, don't be surprised.
All right, Mark Andrews. God, remember. I love Larry Fitzgerald. We can't even do this to him. I love him so much. We cannot do this.
I know. I love him. I really do adore him. But he is old. So I hope he takes care of himself. Take your vitamin C. Mark Andrews is another one. I mean, he tested positive on the 28th. He's not coming back until week 14. There's no way. It's just
Mark Andrews might be in the trash anyways. He's not been producing at a high level, at least where you draft.
Hines. Hines is a great option here. Right?
Who?
Am I on the wrong? Yeah.
Nick Boyle? What? All right, so
big whoop.
No signs. I got you. I know what you're saying. Yeah, all right, so James Conner, that was a question earlier. So let's go ahead and finish this episode out with James Conner, because this is something as to where like James Conner is a little bit scary, man. Like in all seriousness. And I know we've been laughing and stuff, but James Conner is actually like a serious case. Like he battled cancer and everything. This is scary.
Exactly. And this is something where Solder, for example, is someone that actually opted out of the season because of his history with cancer. So Conner is someone that had Hodgkin's lymphoma. This is someone that is going to be he did test positive. So it doesn't mean that he's going to have all out of it, but it also means that he's not going to recover as fast. Don't expect to see him. I think that he's not someone that's going to maybe rebound as fast as you're seeing, especially with the NFL trying to turn these players over very fast after they get COVID. It's definitely scary. This is someone that I hope they're being very cautious with. I think that there's definitely no reason to be rushing him back. So don't expect to see him for a little bit. He could quite easily be out week 4. He could very easily be out week 14 too.
Yeah, it's a definite possibility. So prayers go out to James Conner, thoughts, vibes, all that stuff.
Right.
Honestly, like, Steph does not know how to do a show sheet. She's still learning when it comes how to do a show sheet. So we cannot, as soon as I got there, I was like, okay, we cannot end the episode on this. So I do want to talk about what she called the juice. All right. The Texans, right? The Texans with Will Fuller, the cornerback Roby, like they were messing around with some stuff they shouldn't have been messing around with.
Mhm.
And honestly, I kind of believe them. Like they were very upfront, they were very honest, and they didn't try and fight it. They didn't try and defend it. They were like, hey, we messed up. We should have known better. We trusted our doctor. The doctor wasn't the right thing. Now, typically, right, with these drugs, with steroids, it doesn't keep you from getting injured. You know, it just keeps you from actually feeling the pain when you get injured, you know, from time to time, right? Like there's no reason that with Will Fuller being injured as constantly as he is, that steroids or whatever he took would have kept him from getting injured, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't have made it illegal.
Right.
So
And
for all those people out there saying, oh, yeah, he was taking it to keep from getting injured, that was stupid. All right. That makes no sense to me. And I might be dead wrong. But why would the NFL outlaw something that keeps people from getting hurt?
It's also not, I mean, it is also not possible to not get injured. You still can break things. It's just, that's just kind of that narrative is a little silly, as my mother would say. That's a silly narrative. They both, also interesting enough, they both have the same trainer. So I know that they're doing a lot of investigating on the scenario. I think this is going to be an evolving situation, something that we're going to hear a lot more information about.
Yeah.
And now I'm seeing that you wrote suckle the juice. So now I can get a straight face because I didn't get to see your notes on my notes. I'm going to get better at show notes.
You didn't get to see my notes on your notes? No, but the Texans confirmed that Kiki Kuti, he's the number 2, but he's mostly going to be playing the slot. Meanwhile, Stills, right? Like he's out. Like he got cut, but he got cut because of an injury. That was part of the reason. Right. So with Fuller being out the rest of the season, honestly, I could feel like Isaiah Colts, the rookie, could take over that third wide receiver spot, although he has not played a snap yet.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's kind of a bad scenario over there. They don't have a lot, especially because I mean Cobb is out right now. He doesn't look like he's returning anytime soon either, from what I saw today. So I don't know what they're gonna do. Everyone's suckled too much juice. I don't know. I mean I don't know.
Suckle the juice.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Right out of the
it's a bad scenario. Things are not going well over there.
No, but Will Fuller, he's probably not going to be back with the Texans if I had to predict. They have a bunch of salary cap issues. They cannot afford to sign him. They need to rebuild that entire team. So Will Fuller has a chance to go somewhere else. And I'm thinking the Green Bay Packers are a great fit. I'm thinking that the Chargers could be a great fit if they decide not to bring back Mike Williams. Even if they do, I still think he could be a great, great fit over there. So there are certain teams that are very appealing for Will Fuller moving forward to 2021. Anyways, that's going to end up killing our episode, right? Suckling the juice. Want to thank everybody for tuning in.
Well, don't suckle. Please don't tell them to suckle the juice.
Oh wait, no, you're not supposed to suckle the juice out of Will Fuller's.
Don't.
Never mind.
No,
don't suckle the same juice.
Enhancing. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. Everyone will be fine. The weeks will continue. I know it sounds scary, but it's gonna be.
What is your roommate doing? Is she gonna be nice?
My roommate has tried her very best to be as quiet as possible, and I love her so dearly.
Poke her head in right now.
Gifty. She would never poke her head in right now.
Poke her head in.
She just took a shower. Gifty, come here.
Just for a second.
Word for word, there is no way in hell.
just show her eyes. Be like, hey.
She said absolutely impossible, so it's not going to happen. Okay.
All right, I'll take it. I understand. Anyways, guys, thank you all for tuning in. This was fun. This was probably the best one yet, in my opinion.
It was. There's only been 2, so she's dropping shit again. God damn it, Gifty. We're in your room. I want to hang out. Okay. Okay. Anyways,
I'm coming over.
I'm going to work on my show notes. School is almost done. I'll get better. I'm doing my best. Okay. Brad, little piece.
Oh man,
baby, crossing.
Anyways, guys, thank you all for tuning in. Steph, where can we find you real quick on Twitter? Where can we find you, Steph?
What? Oh, you can find me at Stephie Smalls with 3 L's. 3 L's is very important. Because Twitter. Me and Stephie Smalls with 2 L's. And and then it's also at Instagram. I don't really use that app, so that's it. That's the only place you can find me.
This was fun. We're so dumb. I love it. I absolutely love it. I adore this. Anyways, guys, y'all can find me at FF_intervention. You guys can also find, Fantasy Intervention as a whole at Join Our Circle _, where we are constantly pumping out content, at least hopefully.
Pumping it out.
Just pumping shit. Just all suckling.
Not the juice. We're not pumping juice, but
I might be
we're
suckling the
pumping.
juice. All right, guys. Thank you all for
Juan
tuning
might
in. And
suckle the
thank
juice.
you for letting us interview with your fantasy football life. We're out.
Cheers.